Meantime, in the Middle East, 4 Arab states cut diplomatic ties with Qatar. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt want to isolate the Persian Gulf Emirate over policies towards Iran and Islamist political and military groups. That rift was felt in the oil markets as traders grew concerned that the split could impact the deal to reduce oil production. Hadley Gamble has more tonight from Riyadh.
It's certainly the most severe diplomatic crisis to face the Gulf Arab countries since the GCC's inception some 38 years ago. The UAE, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia, as well as Egypt, calling out Qatar, saying they've been supporting terrorism. And they're closing the borders, blocking air and maritime space, with regional airlines Emirates, Etihad, Fly Dubai, and Saudi Airlines all suspending flights as of tomorrow morning. It's a country that depends at least 90% on imports to make ends meet. And all of this coming just a few weeks after what has been lauded as a major victory for U.S. President Donald Trump in the region. It was his first major trip abroad. He came to Saudi Arabia first and talked about bringing the Muslim world together. Earlier today, we heard from U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson saying that the U.S. was open to being a mediator.
We certainly would encourage the parties to sit down together and address these differences. If there's any role that we can play in terms of helping them address those, we think it is important that the GCC remain unified. I do not expect that this will have any significant impact, if any impact at all, on the unified fight against terrorism in the region or globally.
It comes at a sensitive time for the United States, with 4 major military installations in the Gulf Arab countries. 2 in Qatar, an air base and an army base, as well as another air base in Kuwait and the 5th Fleet anchored in Bahrain. For many in the Gulf Arab states, Qatar has had a questionable foreign policy for years, supporting the Muslim Brotherhood after the Egyptian revolution back in 2011, as well as Hamas leaders, and even hosting a diplomatic mission for the Taliban. Another sticking point, the country's media outlets, including Al Jazeera. Saudi Arabia has often criticized Al Jazeera's coverage as unfair. But while the geopolitical implications could be the more immediate problem, a longer-term issue will be economic relations in the Gulf. Shutting down air travel between the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Qatar could have major implications for the private sector, a group already hit hard by 2 years of lower oil prices. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Hadley Gamble in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.